This is DJ Wolf Live. All right, guys. It was. I might as well talk about it. There was a lesson, a Sunday school lesson today, where there was a prophet called Habakkuk, who was getting frustrated with God not answering his prayers regarding issues with violence around his area, throughout his land. And he would pray and pray and pray and pray and pray, and would just keep praying. But it got to a point where he was frustrated about the situation that was going on. I'm kind of paraphrasing it. I mean, we talked about it in Sunday school. It was a very powerful lesson, and really words to go by, because to be honest, what we're going through now in 2020 with the coronavirus, the lesson teaches you about that. But he was frustrated, and he was to a point he was just wondering if God would ever answer his prayers. So there was a story about a woman who was a woman of faith, and I guess her son was incarcerated at some point, and she prayed and prayed and prayed that he got saved. So she kept praying, but her son, while he was there, never got saved when he was incarcerated, and she passed away without ever knowing if it was going to ever happen. And then 6 months after her son was released from prison, he got saved. Now, the real moral of the story, because I had to tell somebody about that, I don't think they had a completely different take on what the story was really about. The story was actually about your unwavering faith in God, your trust and unwavering faith in God. That's what the real story was about. And I got a lot out of it, because from personal experience that I've had, about praying for my son to get it together. And I thought it would never happen to him. He finally came around years later. Really a few years later, after he got out of high school and went to college. And even in college, I thought he wasn't going to get it together then. And then eventually he did. He finally pulled it out of his butt and got himself straight. And I really was proud of him. I've been proud of him ever since. It's been a while, And sometimes it takes kids some time to really go through the hard stuff to get themselves out of the rut that they're in. Sometimes it takes that, And you have to have the faith, even if you never get to see it come. Your faith has to be unwavering. You have to learn to trust in the Lord when it comes to your faith. That's what it was all about. That's what the real truth of the lesson really was. Oh, hold on a second. The truth of the lesson was your unwavering faith in the Lord. At some point it got to come through, but you're putting your prayers up so that the blessings can come down. That's basically what the lesson was about. You know, even if you may not ever get to see it, but at some point, the person that needs that blessing, at some point, will get it. God may not give it to you at the day, or the hour, or the time that you want it, but they'll get it when it's needed the most. That was the lesson. That is a great lesson to learn. Is your ever trusting faith in God and not too unwavering. You know, because it has to be unwavering. That's how that works. Some people may or may not believe that, but that is how it works. That's real talk. Whether you believe it or not. It's irrelevant, but it's facts. You know, Pastor Gail. It really is facts. That's pretty much all I'm going to say about it for right now. But let me tie that in with the coronavirus. You may not believe that God's going to fix that problem. There was a church member today. She gave me a hug. Some church members wouldn't, and that's fine. I respect that. I don't always feel like giving hugs to everybody either, even on some days. You know. But, and this was long before the coronavirus thing came out. But she gave me a hug, and I hugged her back. She said, "You know what? Well, some people just like they want to stay the distance, but I ain't worried about that." That's what she said. She said, "I'm not worried about that because I know God got me." You know, and it was a good message. You still have to be cautious though, but it was a good message to know and reassure that you pray on it and God got you. You still have to be cautious. I mean, it's like you saying, you know, you going to a bank in a rough neighborhood, and you know God got your back, but you still got to pray on it, and you still have to watch what you're doing out there. You know, we still have caution. You can't throw caution to the wind, even if you have prayer. You know, you still going to believe that God's going to get you through, but you still have to be cautious. You're not going to let your little 2-year-old play in traffic just because you believe in God. You still have to have caution in your mindset. You know, I'm just saying that's a good example. You know, but my thing is, the coronavirus, as bad as it is right now, at some point it's got to get better. This thing can't last forever. You know, this, you know, I hope not, and I have hope and faith that at some point we're going to either find a cure or this thing is just going to just waver out. It's going to wane out at some point. You know, I did hear that there have been reported 17 cases in the last week, 2 weeks, I think. Last 3 weeks. Countrywide in this country. But you have to believe that and trust and believe that God's going to find a way somehow to enable those doctors and scientists to come up with a cure. And I was telling somebody, there's no way that you can have all this technology in 2020. You can drop a rocket or a bomb on a long, wide stretch of land, target a penny from a wide stretch of land with a bomb. From miles and miles, hundreds of thousands of miles away. Or you could target, and I don't mean a bomb, I'm sorry, let me take that back. You could pinpoint a penny from a specific location with a satellite camera. That's a better example. And you can do all these different discoveries. You can do technology where you got smartphones out here. With a, lithium battery, whatever kind of battery they use in these phones. And from miles and miles and hundreds of miles away, you can make phone calls on it. With just a code put in your phone, or just embedded into your phone with a chip. And you can make all kind of calls. You can do all kind of wonderful stuff. You go online, everything. But you can't find a cure for a disease. Now, my thing again, I talked about before. I don't think this is necessarily now it could have been an animal-infected disease. Very well could have been, but based on what they were saying from the original origin of it, they've been eating bats for years and years and years. All of a sudden, the coronavirus come out, and hundreds and thousands of people are affected by it. All of a sudden, the same thing they've been eating forever. That I find astonishing. I really do. I find it very, very, very astonishing. Just saying. Now all of a sudden, can't find a cure for that. And the way it spread from China to all these other countries, and they're affected by it by the thousands. And then it finally start coming here. Here's the other thing. The other thing is that I heard that the number of cases in China have dwindled. They suddenly dwindled. And I heard that about almost a week ago. That the cases in China aren't as big as I think they stopped at a certain point, and then the cases started dropping off. In other words, they weren't getting any new cases. Somebody said maybe because the way they quarantine people, they pinpoint people. I'm thinking maybe they found a cure. They didn't tell anybody. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I think I just ran stop sign. The camera. That camera. I was like, oh, here we go. They waiting to get me anyway. But who knows? What I'm thinking, it's man-made. Because it travels so fast. This thing a lot of people don't know, this coronavirus has been out since December. I remember when they first started talking about it, and they were giving people a warning to it, but we waited until now to come over here. Now we want to investigate it. But what troubled me even more was a report this morning on the local news channel with ties to the Meet the Press reporter. I won't go into details. If you watch the show, you watch local news down here in NBC Washington, and you watch Meet the Press on NBC, you know what I'm talking about. They actually interviewed Chuck Todd, who actually is the host of Meet the Press, and he actually does a show out here from the DMV. And he basically said that Pence actually was giving you information about what was going on, what was being transpired, and what they were trying to do to try to eradicate this issue. Whereas Trump, he was just all over the place with it. And it was to a point where he said, while Pence is talking to people on the cruise ship and people involved with the cruise ship and the doctors and stuff, Trump's out golfing. Exactly what he said. That's pretty much what he said. That's true. Trump just he didn't even I don't know, even when he was discussing about it the other day, it was like he didn't even take it seriously. He really didn't. And there's a published report on news on NBCWashington.com just talking about it. I don't get it. You are the head of the free world. And you don't even give a damn about, you know, he's just so nonchalant about the whole situation with that. Very nonchalant. To a point it just makes you wonder, why is he still president? Why has he never been impeached? You know? And you know what that's all about. It's partly a money thing, and partly because they're old, you know, the good old boys club. You know? No doubt about that. Nobody in their right mind has any business keeping a guy like that in office. Nobody. He's incompetent. He's not the brightest bulb in the box. He's not as smart as he tried to pretend he is. We all know that he's a fraud when it comes to that. And you're always talking about Obama. You know. But, you know, I just don't get it. You know? Because this thing is serious. It's very, very, very serious. What's even more serious about it, they can affect people my age group. You know? It's scary, man. And my wife was saying how she'd be watching all these movies and stuff where these viruses be coming from and all of that, and the origin. It's like right out of a movie. You see all these movies about, and they talked about they had movies like this on for decades, warning you about something like this could happen. And now it's a reality. It's a very stark reality. You know. So we gotta prepare to keep ourselves healthy and keep our hygiene up. And I don't mean just washing yourself, but I mean watching who you shake your hands with. I was at work Friday, and the dude I was talking to, I shook his hand, and my coworker was saying, hand sanitizer, he kept saying it. And I didn't pay him. I said, oh, shoot. He was right, and I didn't do it. I didn't use any hand sanitizer. And this guy, he was a little on sweaty side. Don't joke. He was. Like, man, this guy's sweating. The temperature is not even 60 degrees. He was sweating. It's like he was outside in the summertime. He was in the office. It was crazy. And it didn't dawn on me, so, man, you know what? I'm going to just start using hand sanitizer every time before I even think about shaking anybody's hand. But I remember I put hand sanitizer on before I got over it, and I put hand sanitizer after I shook his hand. You know, thank goodness. Hand sanitizer is not the end-all, be-all for everything, but it does, you know, kind of sanitize your hand enough where, you know, you hopefully that it'll kill some of the bacteria that you have to deal with when you shake people's hands. But now, you know, even today I was in church with people fist bumping and stuff like that. They wouldn't hug, and I'm fine with that. I don't always hug people I know up there all the time myself. I don't. But I was cool with that. I really was. I was fine with it. Didn't matter to me. My main thing, as long as we're healthy, you know, and everything else, and we believe in our faith, and our faith is going to get us through, I didn't care about any of that other stuff at that point. I really didn't. You know. But that's the lesson, guys. Keep the faith. Even when you think God's not listening to you, keep the faith. At some point, God's going to know when to come out and get you through it. You know, because sometimes he's testing your faith. Real talk. And you don't even know it. Maybe also lesson to these so-called powers that be out here in this country. This might be a lesson for them as well. Might be a test for them. Because right now, some of these guys don't have the thinking caps on. You know, at all. You know, they haven't even talked about a cure yet. You know? Because some of these guys are probably just waiting for it to stop. It's not going to just automatically stop. No way. That's not the question right now. Not the way this is headed. But it's going to take faith. It's going to take work. A lot of work. It's going to take people to have second thoughts about not washing their hands or not taking care of the hygiene. And I'm talking about overall hygiene, personal hygiene, all of that. It's going to take all of that, you know, for people to realize that this is serious. And maybe it'll teach people less about overall hygiene. That's of utmost, because you know the old saying, cleanliness is close to godliness. It literally means just that. This is DJ Wolf.